Good.
Alrighty, hopefully you guys had a good weekend. Alright, well, let's take a look, see what we got. Let me see if I'm sharing. Alright, well, we'll start off with the weekly just because we've had some massive balance there, and that's what we are over now. So let me bring up the weekly here. We'll go on RTH so you guys can see it all at once. All right, so you guys are aware, right, that we had the 41, which was our previous all-time high. Obviously on Friday, right, we just kind of stormed right past it. And now we're still holding above, right? So the key concept that you want to pay attention to right now, once you have these breakouts, is what? If you're a bull, what should not happen?
Break below that CPOC.
Well, we don't want to get it back inside the balance, right? If this was our balance before, if this was our balance, right? Let's say this was our balance right here. I'm taking a little bit off here for purposes, right? If this is our balance, we don't want to go back inside this, right? If you're breaking out of somewhere, that means you're agreeing that the value is higher. You should not break inside 41. If you break inside 41, then, you know, if he's correct, you would be targeting the CPOC as the first target, right? There's value area high here, but I think the magnetism would just push back all the way to that 13. And I know 24 was our pivotal level before, 23.75. But we do not want to see this. We don't want to see them come here and fail here. That would most likely mean a visit to the bottom here, because this could be a really good trap if they do that. If they come here, this needs to be buyers. We need responsible buyers to come in here and defend that. And this would be on slide, I believe, like 4 in the PowerPoint. If you guys remember that screen with the market auction, acceptance, rejection, right? And balance, right? So that'll be the one that you're watching, especially at all-time highs. You want to see something like this. You don't want to see much value being built inside this previous rectangle that we had, or consolidation, if you want to call. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And just so you know, like, there's a lot of poor structures, right? I mean, I would say there's a lot on a daily here. I'm just gonna see what settings I have here. I believe on daily you can see them a little bit better. But there's a lot of single prints, and we'll mark them, but there's a lot that you guys should be aware of. And if we are to play single prints, how would you guys play them? Let me turn them on, and then you guys can see them. So here, let's see if they turn on. Here we go. How would you guys play this? Anyone? What's the key, I guess, level that they should not break? From, if you want to stay bull, what are the levels you don't want them to crack through? Here's your top right now. So we have a poor high, right? I would say poor high, and I'm assuming that we are over this already, but we'll check afterwards where we are. So this has a really high chance of being fixed probably tonight. Once we switch to ETH, we'll know what they're doing. So, and then here you have some single prints right here. And then that also matches value area high, single prints there. Just a lot of poor structure. And I would say that's to be anticipated, right? If you're having a breakout, do you want them to build proper structure, or you want them to not trade too much in this area? When you have a breakout like this, you don't want to spend too much time, you know, building value somewhere. You're clearly rejecting value. You want to get out. For me, the interesting part is going to be as you come in here, I'll be interested to see if I can catch a bounce here. Why is that? Does anyone have 3 reasons why?
It's
Why
also previous high.
It was previous high. What else?
It's also the last of the single prints.
Yeah.
The last of the single prints. Good job. And it's the halfway. It's It's called the halfback of a major breakout, right? So if they're able to achieve that, and they might hit you a little bit sooner than that, almost like 45, 44 and a half. So I'll be watching this, right? If they do give us a pullback, we'll check on ETH where we are. If they do give us a pullback, this would be really crucial. So all the people that broke out, that were part of this initiation and buying, most likely they're going to come in here long. Do we care that this makes all-time high? No. I mean, if you're a day trader, you care to catch your target, right? If you're playing 10, 15 points here, let's say you're playing something like this, you know, if you can catch, depending on how the volume falls down, but let's say something like this is great, like, right? If it was 6-1, that's amazing. So don't think, you know, if you missed, say you missed some of this run, your job is to take away from the market a little bit, piece at a time, right? If you want to be the, you know, you want to have gratification instantly of millions, it's not going to work. You got to learn how to compound piece by piece, small piece, small piece, small piece. Eventually it becomes larger pieces, right? But you guys cannot have the mindset of overnight success. It's not going to work in the stock market. So if they give us this will be a really, really good trade. If they break this right here and they break the halfback, they break this, they break the previous all-time high, what would that tell you in terms of price and value?
They want higher. They're seeking value higher.
For you have to listen to the question. If they break inside below here,
Oh, they're not accepting higher. Sorry.
yeah, they would not be accepting the price higher. Therefore, if you fall back inside here, there's a high chance that you're going to visit the opposite. At least you're going to hit 47.65, and then of course the bottom of 4700. They still have some business at 4700 here that hasn't been really cleared. So let's see. So far, everybody does it make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we have to hold this balance. If you see weakness there, do not look to, you know, to go long too much. If they come to the CPOC, is there a high chance that they're going to bounce here? Yeah, of course. If you're short, that's where you're looking to close your shorts, right? You're not looking to initiate any shorts close to the CPOC because there will be buyers here, I promise. Right, so you want to watch that, right? And then on a single prints that we had, so you have this large single prints here from 56 to 48. High chance that that can get filled out, right? And the best thing we can do on this candle like this is actually to use the footprints, right? If I was to use footprints on this candle, what would I look for?
Imbalance.
I would look
Buy
for
side
imbalance.
imbalance.
We're looking for buy side imbalance. Like, is that imbalance based on this candle? How do you know where is it?
Yeah, you don't.
That's correct. You don't. So that's why we use order prints, order flow, so that I can see where's the aggression. That's why I used imbalance setup on footprints. So I know where's the aggression coming in. And in some world of ICT, do you guys know what an imbalance is called?
Fair
No.
value gap.
Isn't a
No.
FVG or whatever?
It's called FVG, fair value gap. Not sure how is that fair value when you have somebody aggressing towards buying. I don't know why it's called fair value gap, but that's beyond point. With footprints, you're able to identify, and I know in ICT models, the FVG, like if I was to look at 65 minutes, isn't this the fair value gap? Right? Between the
Yeah.
candles? Yeah. So how would you play this on FVG? I mean, you have a 7-point spread or 8-point spread. It's pretty difficult on ES to play 8 points, right? For most people, right? So if you have the footprints and order flow, you basically look for an imbalance to see, you know, where is it sitting? And you can do that, right? If you go, let's say on 30 minutes and you don't see anything here. So here's, let me see, this is 121, that's this swing. What time was that candle? 12:45. Well, that's a large order here. Do you guys see this?
Mm-hmm.
Holy smokes. That's a pretty big difference there. That is a large order sitting here. I just want to see what the delta says here, because that's pretty large. Oh, yeah, make sure you guys have this level on your charts. 48, what do we have? Starting at 48.
That's the all-time high.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, somebody came there and literally sliced through that all-time high, and look where the major imbalance is sitting here. And look where they came back. They came back right to it, and try and see if there's any other ones I see at the top. Some bullish buyers there.
Is your
Oh,
setting on that 0.25 then?
Which one?
This is your setting 0.25
On the right?
for the time. Yeah.
Well, I adjust it, right? When I zoom in, I adjust. I'm not sure if that's what you're asking. Like I'm able to zoom in now.
What I'm referring to is when you set up your ticks or whatever, you're in the cluster setup.
Oh, and the cluster itself? Yeah.
Yeah, it's set to 0.25 on yours.
Yeah, so here. So on the cluster, I do basically 1 on the custom ticks here.
Okay.
I don't change on this. I just aggregate if I zoom in and zoom out, but that's about it. You can't set the y-axis. It's based on your zooms. And yeah. But I don't really
Shorty,
see much.
Can you check 35 as well? 40.
Yeah, 35 is huge. Yeah. This one was huge. I think this came in a day before that, if I'm not mistaken. What was 19th? No, that was Friday. I thought 35 was huge before that too. They had some build up there, I guess. Maybe not, but yeah, that's a huge level. I mean, you see here, this one is 7,000 contracts. So, you know, you're kind of watching. If you lose 40, that was our previous all-time high. I'd be cautious of this because they could set up a really nice trap here, right? If they crack this, then, you know, the sellers are much more aggressive and the buyers are not defending this. Then you look at this buy order right here. Look at this number here. That's a pretty significant ratio, and look at that. So they're prepping for this, you know, collectively they wanted to go higher. And then another, you know, good habit is to check the daily just to make sure you're not spotting divergences, right? And you see here the volume pumped, delta increase. As of right now, guys, there's no slowdown. We're just starting. There's nothing slowing down yet here. So don't try to time the top. When you're all-time area, what do you want to see if you're a bear? Let's see.
Price going up with a negative delta.
Okay. Anyone else? Think about day close. What do you want to see? Because right now,
the lower the price go lower.
You'd want to see a B form day with I forgot what it's not a hangman, it's the doji candle.
A hammer. Yeah.
The bomb. Yeah.
And then also just think about the logic that I tell you guys. We're still making higher highs on a lot of concepts, right? We need to end the daytime framing higher, right? We need to reverse that. So that means we need to make a lower low on a PDL, right? So this is our, let me just switch here to electronic. So if you're looking at this, right, on 30 minutes, our low is here somewhere, 48.08, correct? Is that what you guys have as PDL? Should be. Right here.
Yep.
So in order for the bears to get some traction in, we need to bring the price below 48.08. Otherwise, we're still making higher highs. When you go on your daily candles, right? you got to clear this, right? This is today. This one is sitting here at 48.08 and a half. It's a, you know, when you think about it, it's a pretty long way to go. on a down candle right now. Considering this is a fresh breakout, you want to be cautious. You're looking for longs as long as they don't crack 48.40. Then you're aware of the 35 level that we just brought up here. You want to be aware of 35 and 40. If you see weakness and we go below that, you can short. But if we reclaim that level, let's say we dip below and we trap some shorts and then they reclaim it, you want to be careful shorting too much. A lot of people want to time the top. Your job as a day trader is not to time the top. Excuse my language, you do not give a shit as a day trader. You just want to collect your points. Okay. And here they're giving you a really good setup for tonight. Does anyone see it? This is almost too good not to be taken here as soon as it happens. What's the setup?
80%.
A bounce off of 76.
No, I mean, yeah, exactly. I would be an idiot if I was not to take this long here. Previous day value area high. So what is the rule on this open? We're opening above the range. What is the rules?
It comes back, spreads there 15 minutes time, and then we should be touching the value area low previous day.
No. What's the rule when you open above the? There's a setting. There's a setup. There's 4 types of opens that we have. Not auction open, but relative to value area. What is the rule when you open above the range?
Opening
If
above
we
the
fall
range.
back in, sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, don't argue. Say it together.
If you go back, if you fall back into the previous value area high, then you'll probably hit that POC and the bottom of that to the value area low. If you
Because
go back in there.
in this case, PD value area high plus PDH are identical, correct?
Yep.
So the
Yeah.
rule says if you open above the range, that means you're above, I would say above what? Above the value.
The value.
And if you want to stay bullish, you can't crack what?
You can't crack the high.
The value area high.
Cannot crack the high. Right. So you want to watch this tomorrow because, and I believe it or not, it's highlighted. Right.
Wow.
So that's this model that's shaping up for tomorrow.
It's my favorite setup.
This is my favorite setup too. It's set up for both, right? If I play the PDH retest and I fail, what do you think I quickly do? I
You go
adjust. I know
long.
it's gonna be a bear state. I know it's gonna target 80%, like somebody mentioned.
Yep.
So I might lose the first trade, but I make that up in the second one because everybody else is gonna be fading the drop. I'm gonna be looking forward to the drop. So either way, but my first bounce tomorrow is this right here. And now think about the scenario that you have here. You have PD value area high, you have PDH, you have current developing value area low, and the POC that's developing all in this little green zone here. That's about 7 points away. So this is a really, really good setup for a long overnight. And I'm going to take it. Okay. So you want to watch that. And then, of course, if we crack this, do I have interest shorting here heavy? Probably not. If we lose this 80%, why would I not want to short this?
Because it's only going to the POC. It's not far enough.
Right. It's not enough meat for me.
Yeah,
So I'd
not
rather
enough.
for them to lose POC. If they lose the POC, then I'm aware of some of these single prints that we have, right? Preferably, I'm looking to be long above this 41. Is everybody clear with that? I'm looking to be long above 40, 41. Ideally, 35 holds if they get inside. Is that clear for everyone?
Yeah.
If I short the market tomorrow, it's gonna be short-lived for fun, small points. Unless I see that tomorrow, let's say, and you want to use for a bearish setup tomorrow, you don't want to short. Oh my God, I have a 2-minute candle that's down. It has a hammer. You do not short breakouts like this on a 2-minute candle. If you've never lived a breakout like this, especially when it's moving on some shitty volume, you want to be careful finding the top, because the weak sellers do what? They put weak
So
stop losses.
They keep covering.
Yeah, they keep covering, and then they keep promise you, if you're to go back and diagnose this run, I would say that 35% of these points that we got from this low here were short covering points. Because people short and then they, stop them out. Like this probably here, look at this. They came back, people loaded up, and then they rocketed much higher. So just be careful, right? We want to go on 30 minutes if we want to see the top or some kind of forming slowdown. First, look at 30 minutes. We're doing this, and if you see this, you broke the lows here, right? Then look for that clear low, right? If this is my higher low here, sorry for shitty handwriting, higher low. Well, you want to clear this so you can make lower low and a lower high. You want to change your character on some higher time frame. 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, even 30 minutes is not enough when you're trying to gauge an all-time high breakout. And if you don't believe me, just ask if you have any friends that shorted Nvidia as it's doing its thing. I mean, people shorted Nvidia. I shorted Nvidia at 300. As soon as I saw that they cracked through that supply at 300, right here, I remember this like it happened yesterday, honestly. There was this supply right here that I was targeting, and I'm like, man, if they can crack this, I'm done shorting this. And not only did they crack it, I mean, they went another 100% above it. So don't try to think the market can't do something. I promise, market can do whatever it wants to do. You're just a small little fish inside of it, okay? And we're about to get that level, just so you guys know. And they might bounce it sooner, but let's see. So that's my plan for ES. I'm looking, if we open where we are, setup is long off of this area. If, let's say, we open below the POC, then I would want to see what for long. If we open below the POC tomorrow, cash session, what would I want to see?
The single print it's defending.
Okay. And if we open right here, would I go along here?
No, but you can wait for a break above
no.
the POC and retest.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get to. If we're opening somewhere in here, you want to see the break of this POC. Don't wait, because if it's a liquidation type of, on a short cover rally, we need to stay above this POC. As soon as they dip, then they have the high volume nodes, and there's not a lot of high volume nodes here. You have the 60 level that carries a little bit of weight because it's start of single prints, and I would say that's probably the biggest high volume node we have until the bottom, right? And I don't care too much. I'm not gonna, expect this to work out tomorrow, but if they come to here, 60, I think this node is the biggest one we have. Unless, it depends where we open, but this would be my first node I would consider right here. And then second one would be here. And then if they offer this, right, you can even draw the FVP. That you can tell that this is a pretty hefty zone here. POC is going to be somewhere around here, 24ish. Does that make sense? Because it's a P-shaped profile. You're looking for high volume nodes. And this period, when you have a breakout like this, the more you fight the trend, the less money you make. So don't be stupid. Don't try to time the market and win 1,000%. Much easier to, win 10% multiple times than it is one time. You'll blow up too many accounts trying to time the 1,000. Okay. So any questions on ES? On so far? How would you know the targets, like excessive targets? How do I know where is this gonna go?
You can use fibs.
That's about the
Sorry.
only thing you guys have, or we have. Cumulatively, we don't have anything else because it's an uncharted territory. I can scroll to the left and all I'm gonna see is this, right? There's nothing there. So now you can use fibs. So how would you find extensions? Does anyone wanna take a stab? Where
Go
would I
from
take
the-
extensions from to find this?
Swing
There's a-
high to swing low.
Okay. So tell me the points where.
So basically 48, 41. Let's use that high, and then we can use 40.
So here's your current. Let's do daily. Here's your daily.
I'll probably do a small. I don't know, like what time frame should we looking at? Should we just use like the previous swing high to the previous swing low, which is like 48, 41 to the 47.20,
Okay.
or let's.
So your master fibs, big boy levels, you could do something like this, could you not?
Yeah.
And these
Yeah,
are
yeah,
your
of
big
course.
levels, and I'm not talking this daily. If I wanted to know in the near future, I know where is a symmetry, right? I know there's a high here, right? There's a high here. There's a low here. I could want to see this move replicated, right? Market's all about symmetry. So if you guys think about this, you can take any swing, short, swing high, but think about it. Why would I take this and this? Why would I want to drop fibs from here? I have no idea, right? It doesn't make sense. I want the highs and lows to be distinct, right? That means like I want them to be clear. Would you say this one and this one are fairly clear? I would say so. I would say this is fairly clear. And then you could go on like 15 minutes and see where they respect it. So maybe higher. So here's the first one. Let's see, where did we draw them from? Okay, so here they came very close to a bounce. Let me switch to regular candles. Here they had a nice, I guess doji candle printing on 4 hours, and then they cracked above it. They came back for a retest, and now they're going higher. So you could use that swing. On 4 hours, what's another swing I could use here? I could use this as well. Can I not use this?
Yeah, to the November low. Yeah.
And this is probably the best one you got here, because when you think about it, this is the latest move that you want to replicate. This one to this one. And you can see if I was to take, this one is also good, but this one already played out. This low here. And look, they hit it perfectly. 1618, 127 are typically the targets I care for. Right? And then you see the consolidation we had. And out of the consolidation, there's two ways to measure consolidation. Does anyone know one? Can I not measure the top to the bottom here? Right? And that's what, 2.5%?
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty certain we're gonna hit this. If this is a real breakout that we don't, the only invalidation is that we cannot break this level here. Kind of like 41, let's say 35. We cannot break that level. Otherwise, as long as we hold this, we're hitting this. High chance we will hit that. So that's one way to measure consolidations, right? Because this was just pure, like what, 5 weeks since December 13th or so. So that's one, right? And then I could definitely take fibs.
Fibonacci.
I could take this. Okay, well, look what we just hit. We're hitting it right now. Well, maybe not. Maybe we're above this now. So here, we hit that multiple times here. Now you're over it. The next one is sitting at 19, which is about what, 30 points away. I think that's doable. Does that make sense? So I'm using retracements, but I'm drawing it from the top. If I draw from the top to here, I can find the extensions, right? And if you're not familiar, let's see, where's that? Okay, fib extensions. I can figure this out, right? I could do something like, if I want to measure this move from here, starting from this point, I could do something like this. Just delete this one. Let me delete everything so I'm not confused on the ones I took. So I'm trying to replicate from this move to this move, starting from this point.
That's like an ABC pattern.
ABC, right? Yeah.
Yep. So now I see, and typically when you do this, your 50% becomes really good for stop losses, depending on where you're taking it from. So now you watch 19 again on 1272 and 496, and then you see the 100% of this move starting from here, the 200 is sitting at 518. Does that make sense?
1,000. Yeah.
So you can slice this as many ways as you want, but I like to find one that has a trend. So for instance, this would be a really good one that I would pay attention to, and that would be this one right here. Oh, I meant to take that. Sorry. And you're not zoomed in, and it's hard to catch that. Let me go in 3 hours. So something like this. I would stick with these honestly. Right now, if they're able to crack above this high, you know, they're gonna run it. They have room to run this now. Okay. And for pullbacks, what could you do to find the fibs? Let's say this is the move we're interested in. How would I find the support? Meaning this
Go
right here.
from low to high.
Take the bottom
Yeah.
to the top.
Yeah, all you have to do is take the bottom to the top. And in my case, I just have to switch to retracements. And I know this is
yeah.
our 50% right here. And what I like to do typically in something like this when we are running is I like to find the candle right before the takeoff, right? So for me, that would be this candle here. You could definitely grab this candle here or this, but you have a little bit of, I would say, consolidation, and it will most likely push your POC to that level. So if I was to play this, I'd be something like this, right? And you see there's a little bit of consolidation here, and that's fine. I would just look, okay, well, if you come to this level, 68, that might not be bad bounce from volume profile, and that happened during the RTH session. So if they offer that on ES, that might not be bad, right? Just based on volume profile, just nothing else on your chart, just this. You could definitely play that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
So do not try to be a hero and find the top tomorrow. I'll be trading live with you guys, but don't go offline looking for tops and getting excited. Your job is not, it's okay if we miss one day of a sell-off as long as we continue that sell-off. That's what you want. You want to see sellers stop what?
One time frame up.
Stop
They
the
need to
buying.
stop. And we need to stop the buying. The auction hired to stop the buying. Right? Keep that in mind as you're trading tomorrow. We're trying to find that level that's going to stop the buying. At what point are people not finding value with this? And then we're looking for people that bought it somewhere so we can jump in with them for a few points. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I'll see you guys tomorrow live.
Thank you,
you,
Shorty.
Shorty.
Get some rest.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.
Shorty.
Bye-bye.
Shorty.
Good night. Thank you. See
Good night, everybody.